As many of you know, I try through this program to not just raise issues of concern, but find solutions to those issues, because I don't want my audience to come in here and walk away frustrated. I want us to feel collectively empowered and feel like there is something that we can do about all the problems that the news media throws at us every day. Otherwise, what's the use of even talking about these issues if we're just going to go home and say, woe is me, woe is me? And one of the issues that we often talk about is the situation regarding power, and whether the way we are creating our energy is polluting the atmosphere, and whether we are creating global warming as a result of our polluting the atmosphere, or whether it's a natural cycle. But regardless of where we stand on that issue, which has unfortunately become politicized, and it ought not to be, it ought to be based on the science. No matter where we stand on that issue, I can guarantee you that we all agree that if we could save money, it's worth conserving energy, right? So I think that our guest today will be able to help us with that. Kevin Danaher is the executive director of the Global Citizen Center, and he has studied ways to limit our reliance on fossil fuels and cut down on greenhouse emissions. He's co-author of the book Building the Green Economy: Success Stories from the Grassroots. And here's what I like about our guest today. Not only does he talk about it, he does it. He is involved in the development of a building in San Francisco that will not only include a hip organic restaurant and offices rented by clean tech companies, nonprofit groups, and philanthropic organizations that promote the greening of America, but at the health club in this building, when the people ride the stationary bicycles and the rowing machines, they're generating electricity for the building. How cool is that? Kevin Danaher, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Is it Danaher or Danaher? Welcome to News Talk Online on Paltalk.com.
Thanks a lot, Gary. It's Danaher. You got it right.
Danaher. Very good. Well, with a name like Baumgarten, I'm very sensitive to people mispronouncing my name. I can throw little hissy fits over it. I have image of gerbils, running around in circles, and hamsters running around in circles forever and ever, and thinking about, well, look at all the electricity that they are potentially generating. And now, since I read about this, I think about the health clubs that I pass, where I don't know why they do this, but they put people in front of a big picture window so that people walking past the health club could see them looking like little hamsters, either rowing or pedaling and everything, and on display. And my goodness, what a great idea. I don't know why nobody has thought about this before. They're actually generating electricity, aren't they? I mean, potentially.
Yeah, it's really very simple, because anything that moves is creating kinetic energy. It's also the basis for tidal energy. Everybody talks about solar. I like to throw out the word lunar energy. And people say, lunar energy? What are you talking about? There's not that much sun that comes from the moon. It's about the tides and the waves. There's all sorts of really interesting research going on now with allowing the tides twice a day in inlets like the Bay of Fundy, where you get a massive change in the sea level, but also waves, because as those waves are moving, you've got technology now, for example, at a University of Oregon at Corvallis, they have some very interesting, imagine a vertical tube that's got a pneumatic pump that's going up and down, that's being taken up and down by the waves. Well, that's constant. It's 24 hours a day. It doesn't depend on the sun going behind clouds or not, or if the wind is blowing. It's happening all the time. Never stops. And it's offshore. So you're not worried about NIMBY. Oh, those windmills are too close to my Nantucket mansion, and all this.
Oh, I wonder who you might be referring to in Nantucket. You wouldn't be referring to the Kennedy clan, would you?
That's exactly who I'm referring to. It's like we gotta hold people accountable for their positions on issues.
Totally right. Totally right.
It's okay if you build it in somebody else's backyard, but not mine. And when you actually go out to that site and you look at how small those windmills would be, they're miles off the coast, they'd be like, little BB-sized images off the coast, and they're worried about it devaluing their property because of the visuals.
Actually, I've got to tell you, I drove through the mountains of Pennsylvania and saw a lot of windmill farms. I was down in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and they have a windmill farm there as well. And I got to tell you, I think it's impressive and it's almost like picturesque to watch these. These windmills working. It's very, very cool. I mean, why would they be opposed to that? I don't know.
The ones that we have out here in the Altamont Pass in California, which, by the way, were put in by Jerry Brown when he was governor back in the 70s, the right made fun of Governor Moonbeam. Yeah, but he was like 30 years ahead of his time. But if you go and you go up and you look at those hundreds of windmills, they're not only beautiful, they also make California one of the biggest states in terms of wind production. And, they were made in Denmark. What, we can't manufacture windmills in this country? How about some of those auto plants they're shutting down? Those could be converted to making windmills. And this is where it comes into policy and capital. They just recently, the Democrats took the renewable energy component out of the House energy bill. I don't know what's going on with that. But we've got to really pressure our leaders to start shifting the money away from fossil fuels into renewable energy. We're made to look stupid on a global level. Germany and Japan, countries with far less solar than us, they're putting out more solar energy in terms of raw output of megawattage. And we've got, in the Southwest alone, we have enough potential to power the entire country of solar. But it requires the leaders, both in politics and the economy, to shift the capital, shift the subsidies, and get this thing going, because we got to speed up this transition.
And actually, if you're in an environment, all of us are not, obviously, but if you live in an environment where you have the ability through wind or sun, or as you suggest, even the sea, to generate your own electricity, you can actually take that electricity that you are generating, and it's in excess, in many cases, of the amount of electricity that you need to power your house. And then so now you've got your electricity for free, A. And then B, no?
Oh, yes, but it raises an interesting political question, because in most states, what's called net metering, that is running your meter backwards as the solar is collecting and you're not running a lot of electricity, when you hit zero and now you're starting to put more back into the system than you took out, most states, they won't pay you for that, or if they do pay you, they won't pay you the same rate that you paid them. And my position is, wait a minute, if I'm putting more back into the grid than I took out, I should get the same darn price that I paid you when I was taken out, because I'm giving you back the same electrons.
At least the wholesale price, right?
Can't do that.
At least the wholesale price. At least the wholesale price back.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I thought you always got them. You anticipated my full statement when you said no there, because I thought that you always get paid back when you put electricity back onto the grid.
You can only zero out your bill in most states. You can't get paid half.
Who the hell is behind this kind of regressive legislation? Oh, I know.
The power monopolies.
Listen. This is a recurring theme on my show, and I keep telling my audience, and I really want people to believe this. I want people to get politically active. Look, these lobbyists and these big power companies and these oil companies and whoever else is paying